A lot of people wonder what it is that really got me into filmmaking and like what made me want to go to film school. What made me want to learn more about this craft. And there really is a simple answer for that, and it's E.T. A lot of my first memories are from watching movies. I remember a little bit of the first scene, like Luke and Yoda lifting rocks on Dagobah and stuff. I remember glimpses of watching Disney movies like Finding Nemo, Toy Story. But the one that I remember like 100% without an issue, I would have to say that affected me in a magical way too, was definitely E.T. I remember having it on VHS when I was a little kid and just watching it over and over again and having to wait what felt like a million years to have to rewind it and wait for it to finish just so I could watch it again. It got to the point where I actually never even had to worry about watching the trailers beforehand because I watched the tape so many times that part of the tape wore out. E.T. just blew my mind as a kid. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. There was something about E.T. that was just so relatable to me, and it was the first movie for me where I actually felt like emotions watching it, and I think a big part of that has to do with just the wonderful score that was composed by John Williams.
To walk from here! E.T.!
Even if you've never seen E.T., you know the music.
Just so you know, we added a lot of stars to the beginning of the movie before the camera pans down to the forest.
I remember that I left him alone, and one day he called me. He said, I want to play you some of the stuff on the piano.
I remember him coming to my office at that time when I played him some themes for E.T., two themes, the main flying theme and a secondary theme. And I'm pleased to say I remember him liking them immediately. And we eventually get into this key with this one.
I loved it. It was great.
At this point in my life, I was too young to understand the movie-making process, but I was able to comprehend the concept of, writing stories. So in elementary school, a lot of my free time I spent writing stories. I'd just do little, spin-offs of characters that I already knew from other books that I was reading. I'd put them into my own stories. It wasn't really until 4th grade that I would appreciate film more and I'd really understand the concept of it. So I had to do this project in 4th grade where we had to, do a biography on a famous person, and I honestly could have cared less just because, I was in 4th grade. I wasn't really into school and stuff. I was kind of did my own thing. So we were all at the library and we had to pick a book on a famous person. And I wasn't paying attention, so the teacher just randomly handed me a book and was just kind of like, here you go, just do this. And the book she handed me was actually on Steven Spielberg, who I had watched E.T. and I loved it growing up, but I had no idea who Steven Spielberg really was. So when I was flipping through this book, I was like, I don't care. And then I opened it and I saw E.T. and I was like, E.T., I love E.T. So I actually got really interested. And this was really the first school project I would say I really was invested in, and I kind of did the research and I put my heart and soul into it and everything. It was one of the best projects I've ever done.
Every time I start a new scene, I'm nervous. And when that verges on panic, I get great ideas.
If you can extend it more, Henry, I think it would sound much more from the heart. I'm so sorry to, yeah. So sorry to.
Wipe the doll's face, too. Thank you.
By the time it was all said and done, I had this really big extravagant project. I had my own red carpet. I was dressed up like Steven Spielberg, and I even had animatronic E.T. I still have it today. It was one of the best projects I ever did. I have to say that project definitely changed my life after I was really like studying film. I was getting into it. I was making my own films. It started with like stop motion animations I'd make with like my Legos, you know, where you move it a little bit, take a picture, move it a little bit, take a picture, and eventually you have a sequence of a character like working out in action. They weren't really good, but I mean, for like someone starting out, I guess. From there, I moved into live action, which is what I really want to do with the rest of my life. I love working with real people and just like getting that experience of one-on-one with someone and like telling them, you know, this is how we're going to do the scene, this is how we're going to act it out. I've just always loved that. I've always been the type of person who, like, I'll watch a movie or a TV show. When I see something that really, like, is interesting, I've never seen anything like that, I always wonder, like, how do I do that? How do I, like, make that? I always try to, like, teach myself how to, like, through, like, YouTube tutorials and stuff, how to, like, imitate something. Right now I'm really starting to get into special effects and stuff, and just trying to, like, expand the horizon on, like, what I can, like, do. With E.T., I've always been asking myself, like, how does Steven Spielberg manage to pull off all these things? He takes a creature that isn't real, like E.T., and he makes you fall in love with him, you follow his journey, and you feel emotionally connected to him. And just all the characters, the way that they're introduced, the way that they're developed throughout the story, you really feel like a sense of an arc, and it's something I really haven't felt watching any other movie.
I think it was good to shoot the movie in continuity because you can't say to a youngster, we're shooting the last scene first and the first scene last. You can't say that to a kid. It doesn't make sense to them. And I wanted them to be so caught up as themselves and as their characters by the time they say goodbye to E.T. that whatever emotion happened there would happen on take one and would be genuine emotion. And every single shot you see of Elliot crying and hugging E.T. and saying, I'll be right here and doing this, that's all take one.
E.T. is one of those films that holds a special place in my heart. It's one of those films where if it's on TV, I stop doing whatever it is I'm doing, I have to watch it. It's for everyone. I think that's why it's considered a classic by many.